Good Wednesday morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Oh, I love it, Linda, when you bring some energy right off the rip. I love it. Do you exercise every morning, Linda? How do you do it? Is it coffee? Is it exercise? You're always coming with some energy.
It is, I get up and the first thing that I do, oops, hmm, the first thing that I do is I write my gratitudes. And it just fills me with just immense gratitude for everything, all the beautiful gifts that are that make up my life.
Yeah, I'm going to keep you on the spot. Talk to me about your morning routine because you are
Oh,
never
okay.
sleepy on this. Yeah, I want to know. I want to know.
I,
Let's
I,
talk a
I-
little morning routine this morning.
Morning routine. So again, first things first, it sets the tone for the day. I get up, I drink a big glass of water. I have to have a big glass of water to start the day while my coffee is brewing. And I sit down and I get my gratitude journal out. And you know what? Here's what happens. Gratitude begets gratitude. When you really start thinking about all of the amazing gifts of your life, everything down to I have use of my hands and my legs. I can see the beautiful day. When you really start diving deep on your gratitudes, it just fills you with an abundance of joy to start your day. And to me, that sets the tone, because nobody can take that away from you. No matter what comes at you, these are the truths of your life. So that's how I start the day. And it used to be then that the next thing that I would do is I would go and do my exercise because that too sets the tone for the day and feels amazing. But now I have this meeting. And so I do the morning meeting with you, which also is awesome. And then I do my exercise.
Love it. Love it. Anybody else want to just jump in on morning routine or a show of hands if you want the energy at 8:30 that Linda seems to have every morning, and then you're going to take some of Linda's advice and get on the Linda program because the energy level. And I just think it all our days are driven by the energy that we attack them with. It's been something that I've been really, really working hard on. And when I don't get a great night's sleep, and then my morning routine doesn't go well, my day is just off. So I don't know if anybody's just made some really good progress in this space that you'd want to share something that's working for you or something that you changed with regards to morning routine. Anybody care to share on this topic? It's such an important one. Um, any little tips or tricks?
I have my hand up. I don't know if you can see it. This
Oh,
is
yes,
Deborah.
Deborah, go ahead. Go ahead. I can. I'm sorry.
I'm just curious, Linda. What time do you go to bed? I struggle. I struggle with getting to sleep, and then, kind of like this morning, I wake up at 5 a.m., but then I'm still sleepy, and it's not like I have energy at 5 a.m. So, what time do you go to bed, Linda?
Well, you know what? I have gone through and I don't want to get into it and take up half the day, but I have gone through a horrible health crisis this past year, that it has absolutely destroyed my sleep, and I've
Yes.
suffered from extreme insomnia. So it's been a real struggle. It's been horrific, in all honesty. That's why it's so important to get up and give thanks and really, really focus on all of the beautiful gifts of your life, because that's what's giving me my energy at this time. There's so much going on around us that, in all honesty, is ugly and scary, and I just see people not treating each other with dignity and respect everywhere. And so it's critical that I set my mind on all of the beauty and good, because otherwise you can spiral downward very quickly, and then things in your day can take you down. And so I don't want, I have to put a hedge of protection around my heart, my spirit,
Right.
my mind. And so you absolutely have to just really carve out that time to dive deep. And it's something that if you do it every single day, and it doesn't take that long, it becomes just such a critical part of your well-being, as you navigate through your day, through the world, and dealing with people who don't look at the things that are beautiful in their lives. And so that is my strongest advice. No matter what's going on, you have nothing that you can do about circumstances like just horrific insomnia and all this other stuff, but you have everything to do with how you're going to be proactive about protecting your spirit and your heart and the way you want to live your life.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You
Thank
are
you, Linda.
welcome.
Somebody chimed in with hydrogenated water. Who was that? I don't have a name on the screen here, and I'd love to hear about it, if you can elaborate. Maybe you're not in a position to chat.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, hydrogenated water and magnesium makes a big deal.
Is this something that you've changed in your
Yes.
routine, Joe?
Yes. I have some health issues as well, and it definitely helps out. It allows the body to absorb water in a more natural state. Sometimes a lot of this stuff helps with metabolism and helps with your gut, and it's made improvement in my outcomes overall, and it's something that's all natural. So I don't like putting synthetic stuff in my body. So definitely something. They sell the water bottles online. There's a whole bunch of places that sell them. It basically ionizes the water with an electrical charge, releasing the hydrogen atoms, and you drink it. It's inert, and it doesn't coincide with any medication or anything that you're taking, but try it. It
Cool.
definitely helps.
Cool. For me, there's a product called Element that I've been adding to my water. So that's part of my morning routine and that's LMNT Element. It's going to just get your electrolytes added to flavor your water up a little bit. I know I got to drink a lot of water, and I just don't, for whatever reason, love the taste of regular water. But give me a little bit of Element, and it really seems to help. So a couple other people chiming in here. It looks like John is also on the hydrogenated water routine. And then this is an interesting one, John. Are you in a position to speak? I've never heard of a Kangen machine.
Yeah, it's a Kangen machine. So it is a Japanese medical device that changes the pH level of the water using platinum plates and electricity. I don't know if you remember back in like elementary school when you used to put the electrodes into the water and create hydrogen and oxygen. This machine kind of does that and changes the pH levels of the water. So you could drink like 9.5, which is a hydrogenated water, and it helps with hydrogenating your body, which is great.
So this would be, instead of having to go and buy whatever Joelle is talking about purchasing, this would be take the water that you already have and you just run it through this machine?
Correct. So it just connects to your tap and it runs right through. If anyone's interested, I do have information. I can share it. The machine is expensive, but you can get it because it is a medical device. You can get some money taken off through your insurance, I believe.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing.
it pretty much creates the smart water that you see in stores.
Gotcha. Anybody else on? We got another person saying that it's using a device to hydrogenate the water. So apparently, a lot of people on the hydrogenated water train. I missed the memo, and I'll have to do some research. Appreciate you guys sharing. I've got our home inspectors on here. John, talking about some Tai Chi every morning, John?
Yeah, I started doing it years ago and just got back to it a couple months ago based on an injury I had. And it's low impact. It has a lot of meditative breathing, and it's been a great way to start my day.
Cool. I wanted to expand on Linda's comments. I am currently pretty obsessed with a podcast called Diary of a CEO. run by a gentleman named Steve Bartlett. And the episode that I'm listening to right now, he is interviewing in their longer podcasts. And I want to share something about long podcasts because it's something that I've always bypassed. So, probably one of the most famous podcasters on the planet right now is Joe Rogan. And if you look at Joe's interviews, they're 3 hours long. And for a driver, A-type, ADHD, 3 hours just doesn't sit very well. But what I've learned about these 3-hour interviews, one, you don't have to listen to them in one sitting, but you get more than just the highlights. When it's a 30-minute interview, the guest is promoting a book or promoting whatever they're there to promote, and they go through their bullet points. You don't get to know them. There's not really a deep discussion. It's kind of just surface level, and I think somebody can maybe even be somebody that they're not in a 30-minute interview. And what I'm finding in these 3-hour deep dives, which is how Steve Bartlett runs this podcast, you really get to know people. And you get to hear some of the behind the scenes, and they're interesting. They may go off on a tangent that you're, hey, I don't really care about this. Joe Rogan will get a lot into MMA and stuff like that, which really doesn't interest me too much, but you can always fast forward through those parts. But if you're somebody that looks at long podcasts and says, hey, you know what? I don't know, I don't have 3 hours. I would just like to change your mind and give it a listen. But the one that I'm listening to right now, Steve is interviewing Evie Pampouris. So Evie is a former special agent with the U.S. Secret Service, probably one of the first females to have this role. So I think she went through a lot of probably, I guess discriminatory would be the word, practices maybe within the department, but just has really become an extremely strong-willed individual. She wrote a book called Becoming Bulletproof, Protect Yourself, Read People, Influence Situations, and Live Fearlessly. And I'm really enjoying her take on the world, how much we consider other people's thoughts, which she encourages you to be very, very, very little, because they're their thoughts and not coming from your place. They're not in your shoes. They don't have the million pieces of inputs that you've been through in your life. And so when you're asking somebody else for advice, they're giving the advice based on the million inputs that they've had in their life that have turned them into the human that they are today, which is significantly different than the human that you are today. And so I've just found it like a breath of fresh air. I'm somebody that definitely struggles with trying to keep everybody happy and asking for everybody's opinion. And I make decisions quickly, which she talks about, like always stay in kinesis is a word that she uses. Always be in movement, try things. It's okay if they fail, but if it was your decision, there's a reason behind that decision. You learn from making all these decisions. And when you're counting on other people, or worried about what other people are thinking, kind of back to how Linda started it today, you can really go down a negative path. So I guess just a couple of recommendations. Try some longer podcasts if you're not into them. Check out Steve Bartlett, Diary of a CEO, and specifically this episode with Evie Pampouris. I really think that you would enjoy it. So I want to just stay on that topic a little bit. I don't know if anybody else kind of wants to comment on either Evie or long podcasts or Steve Bartlett or anything along this that might just help another agent, maybe just a breakthrough that you've had in educating yourself and learning and stuff like that. Is there anything there that somebody wants to expand upon? Nobody else is on long podcasts? Come on. Or are you guys listening to Crime Junkie? That's what my wife listens to. She can't get enough of the crime stuff. All right. Well, we do have John and Todd on with us today. Let's switch it over to home inspection stuff. I'm sure they have something prepared for us, but does anybody have something going on a deal that might be home inspection related that we might want to get on the table and let these guys answer while we have their professional opinions with us? Anybody have something?
I have
Everybody's
some
got
more.
something.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I've got whoever is got iPhone. Is that Joelle?
It is, yes. It's more in regards of an inspection, informational inspection. I know that right now, the market's getting a little bit hot with some of these houses, and a lot of them are cash offers. And to make it more appealing, some people are not doing the function. They're using an informational inspection. But how could we leverage that and protect our buyer with it? That would be my question.
John, are you guys doing these, for informational purposes only, or anything kind of quick and dirty instead of going detailed? Is that kind of where you're going with this, Joel?
So interestingly enough, we just started a program called Know Your Home, which there's 6 items that we strictly focus on: HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roof, basic foundation, and HVAC. I might be missing one, but it's strictly based on that. And to cover your client and to cover us, you do get a report with that, but it's truncated around those 6 areas. So is that the kind of informational inspection you'd like? They're getting away from a legal standpoint, they're getting away from these walk and talks without reports, because there's been issues that have come up because we're not protecting ourselves with a report, as, like I mentioned, the client isn't either. So the report, for $330, you get a report, you hit the high points of the house, and you're done. So
Adam, I saw your hand up. Did you have a comment or a question?
Yeah, I guess I was just going to clarify. I mean, if this is just the verbiage that's going on the offer form, I don't know that it's anything different from a buyer perspective. So I don't know if he's in competition. If the listing agent's saying, "Hey, I've got all these other offers that are coming back informational only," to me as the listing agent, that means absolutely nothing, because your client's still getting a full home inspection. You still have a full right to your deposit back. So maybe that might fool a new agent, but it ain't fooling a veteran agent, because it means nothing. So I don't know if he's trying to save his client money and do a quick and dirty, or if he's just coming up against it, because I just want to clarify. And in my opinion, there's not really anything such as informational only.
Yeah, Joel, do you want to just clarify your question a little bit more and see if we can dig into it a little bit more?
Yeah, I think it's how Adam was saying. We had a person put in an order over the weekend, an offer on a home, and it was.
Is this you're on the listing side, or you're representing this buyer?
Not yet. I'm the buyer's representative.
Okay.
So we put in an offer, and then they came back, and then we wanted to strengthen our offer, just because there was a lot of movement on the house, and it went way over cash value. But one of the things was this whole informational inspection, and how I could find a way to leverage it, because like Adam said, there was others, but as a new agent, I didn't know that. I kind of figured it, but I wasn't 100% sure that all inspections are more than just informational, because the buyer could then pull in, request a fix if it's something. I did include agencies to protect them, though.
Yeah, I mean,
we stopped the straight informational inspections yesterday because of the liability issue. So
from your end, yeah.
From our end.
Yeah. And this has been one of those things, John, that's always really bothered me, because, as a client, I should be able to do whatever I want to do, right? So I should be able to, if that's the report I'm asking for, and I'm willing to sign a waiver that says this is all I'm getting, then that's all I'm getting, So it's really a frustrating topic for me that I don't have control over what I want to do as a buyer. But it is what it is. And yeah, I think, Joel, there are some ways to, if you've got an inspection clause in there, period, end of story, it doesn't matter what you say it's for, your buyer can back out. So what are some of those extra things that we can do in this scenario to actually strengthen it? It's, hey, I'll give you a non-refundable deposit, right? Hey, I'll put some clauses in there that say, as long as the repairs aren't over X, I'll move forward. Still not the cleanest thing. Still can wiggle my way out of these, but we are trying to just add a couple little things to show that listing agent, right, that I am a little bit more serious about this. Hey, I'll half of my deposit's non-refundable, right? So there's a couple of different ways to do it. I see a couple of hands up. Let's stay on this topic for a little bit if we could. Martin, did you have something to
Well, my
add?
whole thing when I've done for informational purposes only, I've always called the listing agent and say, hey, listen, we just want to see the structural. We're not going to ask for any repairs unless there's something super major structurally with the home. And 9 out of 10 times you can usually tell if there is going to be. So that's, I mean, that's the way I usually do it.
Yeah, those conversations are great, but at the end of the day, the strong listing agent knows that that's great that you said those things. If the contract doesn't protect my seller, then you could say whatever you want up front. And then if we've got a clause that allows you to back out, then you can back out, right? So what are those things that we can put in writing to actually strengthen it, you know? Lauren.
I just wanted to speak to the fact that in Massachusetts, it is actually law now that a seller cannot accept an offer where the buyer says they're leaving. Is it in practice yet? No. It is a law. It is fully through everything. They are going to be pushing more into this year. I think they were letting everything sort of, 6 months with the NAR stuff roll out. So I think we're going to see a lot of changes around a lot of this. I don't think Massachusetts is going to be the only state that goes to something of this effect, but just putting it out there that there's already a lot of changes, things to that. So inspections should be a right, in my opinion, of whatever you're buying. And so I hate the idea of leaving them anyway.
Right. And just to clarify what Lauren's saying, they basically are saying you can't, and I appreciate you bringing this up, Lauren, because I did not realize that we were fully in effect with this. So in theory, what this new law says is you can't write anything into your offer to say that you're going to waive your inspections. Right? That doesn't mean after you get your offer accepted that you could not, you don't have to do inspections, but we can't have anything in the offer that says that I'm not going to do it that would, influence the seller to making a decision. That's my understanding, right? Correct, Lauren?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
So, and I guess like a big thing is like if an agent tells the sell side, we're not doing inspections and they accept that offer, the contract, if that's in writing anywhere, an email, something like that, could be void simply due to that fact. Like you were saying, big point, after accepted offer, we're good. We're not actually going to inspect anything. I don't want to pay for it, whatever the reason is. But an offer can't be accepted with that in it or that being a term of it.
Yeah.
Consumer protection, basically.
Right. Right, because basically what they're trying to protect, and I think they're overcorrecting here, but it is what it is all these people that waived their inspections, bought houses during COVID, and now they got issues with their properties, and now you've got lawsuits going on. I didn't realize, I didn't know. So yeah, they've overcorrected to say, well, you can't waive inspections. So, Adam.
Hey, just a couple strategies that I've offered as the listing agent to the buyer to get it done. So this, of course, is going to be a client that's really wants this house, but essentially asking the listing agent, hey, we'll come in. Well, I guess you can't do this anymore if you're telling me you can't waive inspections, but essentially it was go in there with your home inspector before they accept the offer, do your home inspection and come in with a waived inspection, right? So I'm not asking you to waive it without knowledge. I'm asking you to waive it on behalf of the seller after you've gotten your information. Now, obviously the kickback's going to be, well, my client doesn't want to spend $500 on an inspection before they get the house. And then I would go to the client, well, I'm getting the impression from the listing agent, if we're the only one doing this, this is going to get you the house. Is it worth $500, right? And of course there's a understanding between the agents that like, if we come in with an offer where we're waiving, it's a done deal. So this satisfies everyone. The buyer gets their full inspection. Seller's signing a contract now with a contingency probably only due to financing. So that's a little bit stronger. But the other one that's really important for a buyer's agent to do is actually go through the house more than 15 minutes, right? So looking at all the systems, guessing about how old the roof is, look at the water heater, look at the heating system, look at the windows. Is there asbestos? Is there knob and tube? All that kind of stuff, because I've called buyer's agents before and said, hey, just to let you know, these are the issues we have with this house. We've got asbestos in the basement. We've got knob and tube. Hey, you know what? We were at the house for an hour. Client completely understands all of those things. They know that the roof's 20 years old and it's going to need to be replaced in 10 years. They know the water heater is 8 years old and it's probably going to need to be replaced in the next 2 to 5 years. They're comfortable with all that. They still want the house, right? Because there's nothing more frustrating than as a listing agent getting a call after inspections and like, well, the inspector said the roof's 20 years old and the water heater's about to go and the heating system's past its useful life. It's like, come on, you knew that before you went into the home inspection, right? I don't expect you to catch leaking plumbing. I don't expect you to catch double tap breakers, maybe some foundation issues, but the average stuff, that should be stuff you as the buyer's agent, when you're doing your showing, if they seem interested, to kind of do a little bit deeper dive into that house and then call the listing agent and say, hey, here's all the things we're aware of. We're totally cool with it. That's a great conversation.
I love this. I love this strategy for getting your offer accepted. Just putting the cards on the table. That's a professional buyer's agent. The other thing that I love that you said there, Adam, is don't be afraid as the listing agent to suggest the terms and the clauses and the stuff, right? If you're an experienced agent and you're trying to put this deal together and the offer comes in one way, go and have them rewrite it the way that you want it. That takes the pressure off of your seller. At the end of the day, we're trying to take as many things off the table that could go wrong on this deal so that my deal gets to the finish line, the one that I pick, right? And when he's talking about, well, it's going to cost my buyer $500 to get an inspector in there before I even know my offer's accepted. Well, it's going to cost my seller a hell of a lot more than $500 if I ignore everybody else's offers, I accept yours, and in 7 days, I got to come back on market. I've lost all my mojo. I'm not new to market anymore, and it's going to cost my seller a lot more than $500. So, hey, let's work together here. We love all the terms of your offer, right? What can we do? And this still applies in other states outside of Massachusetts where we don't have this law that says that you have to do a home inspection.
I have a quick question. I don't know how to put my hand up on this phone,
Yep.
but is it something, just going back to being the listing agent, is it something that you would probably speak with the person that you're listing the house? Hey, maybe we could get a walkthrough from the inspector that comes in. We'll have a inspection already set up with the information that's there, so everything is upfront, and that'll reduce all this haggling back and forth with the buyer's agents.
Yeah, we called this the certified pre-owned, right? The certified pre-owned home, right? When you look at going to buy a car, right? Are you going to pay more for a used car or the used car that's been through the 30-point inspection with the dealership? Right? When you have that, hey, certified pre-owned, there's just a little more, confidence level when I'm buying that vehicle. So why can't we do that as listing agents? Why can't we hire a home inspector? Let's figure out what's going on with this property. Let's fix maybe some of the things. Then let's provide this inspection report as an attachment. Explain to the buyer's agents, these are the fixes that we've made. These are the things that are still wrong with the property. Right? It's not going to cost us much, and I promise you, the time and energy of a deal falling apart, if you had just done that pre-inspection, you are way better off. So this is something like, and how many people are offering this to the seller, right? This is an opportunity for you to stand out amongst the listing agents when you recommend this. Hey, it might cost you a little bit, but I'm telling you, it's going to cost you a lot more if we get a buyer in here that doesn't know what's wrong with this property and backs out of the deal. It is 1 in 100 that you put that property back on the market and get a better offer with better terms. Most of the time, weaker offer, weaker terms. Who else? Anybody have any other strong opinions on this one? This is really important stuff. Yeah, I'm just seeing from Sue. Absolutely, put that pre-inspection right into the MLS. And your seller doesn't have to do all the repairs. They can choose to do some. They can choose to do none. Right? But this is almost like what Adam was saying. It doesn't now take that experienced buyer's agent that walked through and said, hey, my buyer is aware that the hot water heater is old and the roof is probably on its last leg, and there's that crack in the foundation, and right, let's just lay it all out. So now all the buyer's agents know this, right? And so, now we can structure a deal that says, hey, you're moving forward and you are aware of these issues. If our inspector, we're not saying you don't have to do an inspection, go do your own inspection if you want. But some buyers may feel confident just looking at that inspection report and going, okay, I'll save myself the $500. Linda.
Hey, this is Jeff.
Oh, Jeff.
Yeah, hey, good morning. We're big fans of the pre-inspection for listings, to suggest those on a house that may have some things that might come into question. And very much to your point, we tell them, spend a little bit of money now is going to save you a lot of money at the negotiating table. So we're really big fans of that. Again, when you have the circumstances that may warrant it. The other part that we like in that is we had previously used, and this may help, one, the inspection, the pre-inspection may help assuage some concerns from a buyer. But another one that we find may be helpful in situations where you have some older appliances, mechanicals, is using home warranties. And we've got a company that we have used in the past that would do listing warranties as well. They would cover you through the listing period. And if anything broke during the listing before contract, you'd be covered. And again, it's a little bit of a spend. They can pay at closing for that. And again, so ultimately they don't have to fork out any money up front. At least with this company that we had used. And, again, everybody gets a little bit of peace of mind that, hey, you're giving them a year warranty on some things that, hey, we know they're a little older, some of these mechanicals, so you might have an issue, but it gives them a little bit more peace of mind as well. Just some things that we found to be helpful in the right circumstances.
Yeah, I'm just glad that Linda lets you speak, Jeff.
Yeah, I get an occasional chance.
So we have, Steve, we've been doing a lot more listing, pre-listing inspections.
Yep.
So, there's a lot happening in that side of the inspection as well.
Yeah.
So
anything in particular that's jumping out to you that you've seen as a result of these sellers starting to do these things ahead of time?
it's mainly just to educate, but we view it as a means to get other inspections from the buy side. So we'll discount the sell side inspection, which helps the realtor, helps the client, and we feel that that's a good way to give back to our clients. So
yeah, cool. All right, guys, we are a little bit over. Man, I feel like we could talk about this for another half an hour easy, because there's a lot more strategies that we can go down with this. Maybe we can continue tomorrow, but appreciate all the input. Some great shares this morning. Let's just quickly take a look at what we have available for additional training today. What do we got? 5 different trainings available. The Investor Agent Playbook, Close More Transactions and Build Wealth. Long-Term Nurture Playbook. This one's just becoming more and more important in my mind. Especially, we run a very high-performance leads-based organization. And I think it's really important for those agents that are working leads to really understand the importance of long-term nurture, right? The goal of work and leads is not to be on leads forever. The goal of work and leads is to get 100 past clients under your belt, nurture those guys so you never need a lead again. It's very frustrating for me when I see agents get into the business and then they're out of the business in the first couple of years simply because they just didn't have enough opportunities. So, don't worry about how much commission you're making. Worry about understanding the business, getting past clients under your belt, learning these little tips and tricks and strategies, and then slowly wean off of the leads as you learn to do more of the long-term nurture. Grow your business from 10 to 100 sales using apps, tech, and tracking systems. Agent to Investor Mastermind, and the Agent Launchpad. I'm not sure what this one is. Let's take a quick look at this one. If you're tired of chasing leads, guessing your next move, or watching others win, start figuring out it's time for a change. Agent Launchpad is a monthly power pack session where you'll learn what's actually working in real estate, designed to give you real, practical, and actionable strategies that actually work. So listen to Samantha. Interesting topics that she may bring up. So pretty cool. Take a training. If you are not with Real Broker and one of these trainings interests you, just send me a direct message. We will get you the link so that you can sign up and take it. And if you learn something, share something. That's what makes this call grow. So As always, guys, appreciate the input. If you've got a question that you're just not comfortable sharing live on the show here, please shoot me a direct message, an email, a text, something, and I'm happy to just ask it anonymously for you. I know some of you guys just feel like your questions are silly, but I think the most mundane questions are the ones that lead us down a rabbit hole where we can now get into the details. So I want you guys feeling comfortable bringing those. And please share the call. If you're seeing some value out of this call, the more people that we get on it, the more insight that we get, the more strategies that'll get discussed here. So please, if you're liking it, share it. And if you're watching us on social, please actually join the Zoom call because we'd love to hear your voice. All right. Have a great Wednesday, guys, and we'll do it again tomorrow morning. Take care.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.